here we will be discussing the basics of PowerPoint, and the objectives of this session is again, since it's right from the scratch, creating and naming a new file. Okay, first things first. The session will be, I'm referring to PowerPoint as a software which is downloaded or which is preloaded on a computer. So that's what it is. So the first thing that we do in any software of the Office bundle, we create a file and name it. Understanding the toolbar and the various tabs, there are various, we will be doing this. I'll be sharing information from the slide deck, as well as when we go into the demo, I will be doing, we will also be experiencing how to work with them. And of course, adding style to the slide. When we say slide in PowerPoint, the individual unit of PowerPoint is a slide. Like, for example, to give us a reference in MS Word, we call it in the document, we call it one page. Okay. Similarly, in Excel, we call it one worksheet. Here in PowerPoint, we call it slide. Okay. So the first session would be again, creating a slide and then enhancing the qualities of the slide by changing the fonts, color, inserting pictures, word art. These activities we will be doing, and I'll be doing a live demo of this. Besides this, if you have, if you are hoping to learn anything else, please put that in the chat box, and I will read the question out and answer that to the best of my ability during the session. Now, just wanted to know a quick response. Answers could come in yes or no. Have you tried your hand at PowerPoint? I mean, worked on in any way on PowerPoint, whether it is the basics or the middle level or the advanced, any kind. Nirmala ji, you have raised your hand. Is there anything that I could help you?
I have used PowerPoint.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. And I see answers there. Carter also says yes, good to know that. And Vandana ji is still learning, and not a problem. Okay. So with that, just to let you know, for beginners, what is PowerPoint? That's the first thing that we need to know. It is a standard component of the Microsoft Office suite software. Okay. And that is the basic, you see. What it does is it is bundled with, the Microsoft Office suite software contains Word, Excel, and other productivity tools, including PowerPoint. It's a productivity tool, as we call it. And it uses slides. The individual, unit in a PowerPoint file is a slide. Okay. And we use the slide to convey information rich in multimedia. Multimedia literally meaning that there are a host of functions that we can do. There are a host of tools that we can use in a PowerPoint to create, the multimedia effect. Now, secondly, the uses of PowerPoint. Okay. The uses of PowerPoint is, the first thing is that it's an option to present to views with the help of a presentation. Okay. And at the same time, what all we could achieve through it is teach lessons, publicize any kind of a topic, present at a conference. I mean, if there is a meeting and if we are presenting there, we use a PowerPoint tool there. Show business plans, marketing plans, or any other kind of a plan that we wish to present. We use a PowerPoint in that. Also, at the same time, we can create photo albums for our own use. And if we are creating any kind of a digital portfolio, this is one of the best softwares, easy to use softwares, which is readily available on a system, Windows system. And besides that, a host of other options are there also where we use PowerPoint, even to the extent that to let you know what I'm using currently, all this text and all that I'm presenting. This is an equivalent of PowerPoint in Google Slides. I'm doing it through Slides. Okay. PowerPoint is something, similar to this. So now, next coming access of PowerPoint, as to how do we access PowerPoint. There are a couple of options for that. Number one, installed as a software. This session is based on this category. I have PowerPoint installed as a software in my Windows computer laptop. The second option that we get it is through the web, through a web browser. If we create a Microsoft account, we get the access to Microsoft Office bundle, which has the basic, the basic tools for all their products. And Microsoft is the PowerPoint is in that also. Besides that, if we want to use it on any device, when we call it a device is referred to as a cell phone or an iPad or iPhone. So for that, we need to either, we use the browser, or we can specifically download an application from the respective Play Store and use it. But yes, from smaller devices, one of the things is, since it is more visual and it is more, it's slightly complex also, especially in the higher stages. So it's better that we use devices only for viewing the files rather than creating or presenting from them. Now, going over to, the tabs that are there, the ribbon tabs. The first, of course, being File. If those who have worked in Microsoft Office would find similar names in PowerPoint also. Like, for example, File is there in Office also. Home is there in Word also. Insert is again there in Word also. Design onwards, there are these tabs are new. Specifically made for a PowerPoint. Transitions is totally animation. We will also be exploring this in the second session. And other than that, what we have is animations, a very great tool to know while we work in a PowerPoint. This again, I will be covering in the intermediate session there. And slideshow, which is again a mode which is there again more towards the multimedia side. Review, view, and help. These are the tabs, and we will be exploring them when I go into the live demo also. Besides that, what we will be covering today is word art. Okay, word art literally pertains to text. It's a text modifying feature. Okay, and those of us who have attended the attended the word art session for MS for Microsoft Word. It's the same feature, and it can be used in PowerPoint also with additional resources here. It's a colorful, artful text in a variety of styles, which we will be exploring. In the sense that the basic text, as we see, is what is typed on this particular slide. Okay. With word art, we can make it. We can create a number of styles that are there, and it's not just plain text that we see. Now, moving ahead, we can create interesting titles, logos, as well as text. We give the text a very different look altogether using word art. And there are effects within that, which such as shadows, outlines. Outlines means that for every word or every object that is there, we can change the outline, we can color the outline and do a host of other things there. Besides that, there are gradients and the 3D also. These are effects that are there. And we could, the text that is there, we can bend it, stretch it, skew it, or modify it for as per the requirement of the presentation. Right? Now, that was word art. First thing, we got to know information of that. Now, where do we use it? The use of word art is generally the title slide of a presentation. If we are looking at PowerPoint, generally the title slide of a presentation. And the titles of slides, if we are making something very grand, we can create the title of the slide also using word art. And titles of text boxes, any kind of a title where we have to give a more importance or which need to be eye-catching. If any presentation, anything which is visual needs to be eye-catching, and especially if there is text placed there, then certain text needs to stand out. For example, titles, because the title will attract the person or the viewer to the text, and then they read the text there. So for any kind of titles that we wish to insert, we can use a word art. And besides that, we can create signature styles also, as we call it. Creating a signature style. Own style means a signature style. And now from here, I will stop sharing screen, and we will go over into, I will go into sharing screen from my system of a PowerPoint file, okay, or a PowerPoint slide. The PowerPoint that I am using is version 2019. Not to worry about the version. All the things that we have shared, they are common, and they are present in the previous versions of PowerPoint also. So here we go. Allow me to share screen, and now the screen that you're seeing is of a PowerPoint application. Okay, and from here, we are at the home, and at the top, as you see, it says a new blank presentation. Okay. We have the option of opening it up from here, or from the left band that you see where PowerPoint is, and there is new. We can click there and open a file, straight away. So click it here. When we click in the new, in PowerPoint, there are templates also. If we are looking to create, something great, if we are, then we can search for templates also, templates and themes, and in 2019, and I think this feature is there since 2016. That's so we can check for any of these templates and look for them and modify them. A template is something which is there. We can open it up and modify it. Right? The next, what we will be doing is we will be starting on a blank presentation. Right? Now, clicking on new at the top, there is a blank presentation. So I click on that, and I get a blank presentation here. Now, this white area that you see, one white area that you see, this is referred to as a slide. Okay? And slides by default, okay, by default, their width is more than the height. Right? Their width as such is more than the height. First things first, we have, now this is a software. So we need to save this file. We need to give it a name and save this file. So Going into the file, now in the screen that we are seeing, the ribbon is at the top, okay, where it says file, home, insert, in the brownish maroonish area. From there till the gray band that is below it, this is the ribbon, as we call it. Okay. And within this ribbon, at the top, where these fine words are, in the sense that, file, home, insert, horizontally one after the other. These are tabs. These are respective tabs. And, below that, below each tab, when we click on a tab, we get this gray band. Okay. And this gray band is again divided into segments. And when we look at these segments, each segment is called a group. Okay. Sharing this information because whenever we talk in technical terms, this is what they're referred to it. Okay. Now, and within the group is all these commands, like for example, the first one has paste, cut, copy, and so on and so forth. So within the clipboard group, there is the command of paste, cut, copy. Okay. Now, but that's just the ribbon, and and each tab has different functions. Okay. If I go over into insert, you'll see everything change over here. Right? Similarly, in design, things will change here. So each tab has different groups and different commands in it. No two tabs will have, the exact similar kind of groups or commands there. Now, from here, first things first, name the file and save it. So we go to the first tab, which is file. When we click on that, we get the option of save as or save. Use any of them, click on save as, and select a location. I want it to be there in the desktop. I click on the desktop, and from here, I just give it a name in the file name section and say basics demo and save it as PowerPoint presentation. We need to ensure that we save it as PowerPoint presentation. In the later times, I will let you know how to save it in other formats and what is the advantage of that. But for first, information, it should be save as type PowerPoint presentation. Okay. And hit the save option. As soon as we do that, if we see at the top, the name of the file is there, basics demo PowerPoint. Confirm, done. The next thing, the next that I would say is within a slide. Okay. On the difference, I'm also letting you all know in between, certain tips or certain information. In a PowerPoint slide, it is different from the Word document in a way that on a Word document, wherever the cursor is, we can start typing. Right? In PowerPoint, there needs to be a text box. Right? We can only type on a text box. So a text box is necessary to type on a PowerPoint slide. Right? Going back, now this slide already has the boxes there. I can just show this to you. I just do a demo. Now, for example, this box is there, the light brown, the light gray light boundary is there. And if I type in here, it will take that. All. Okay. But if I move this box from here, the second box that is there. If I delete that box and I want to type here, it will not even take the cursor. Okay. So that is the first thing about PowerPoint. But yes, as soon as I insert a text box or I go into a text box like this first slide, I click here and now this is a text box I can write here in this area. Okay. That is the first thing about PowerPoint and writing text there. Going into now, the first element there, okay, is writing something. So we write, and next in the home in the home tab, we have all the options that are there in MS Word also. Okay. Similar functions, it is very similar to that. Okay. Now, and even the commands, they are the same. For example, if I want to change the font here, right now, if I see it's if I see the font section, the font group, I can make out that it is Calibri Light. Okay, and the size is 60. But if I want to change it, I just highlight that, go into the drop down from the fonts, select the font that I want, and once I select it, it applies here. Okay. And if I want to increase or decrease the size of the font, we can do that from the size, from the count that is there. Okay. So this is, the text. We inserted simple text there in black and white. Okay. We want to make the text colored below that. Okay. I will select a different, font because this is bold. So you would not make out much difference, Now I'll select this. Okay. Below that, is the same as in Word. Make it bold. If I were to hit the bold, it will become bold. Okay. If I select on, italics, it will become italics. And underline, it will become underline. The S here is text shadow. Okay. If we hit that, and if I remove it, let me make it slightly more bigger. Okay. And if you can see, there is a shadow which comes behind the text. Okay. So the S there is a shadow. Okay. By the side of that is again strike through. If I select this and I hit the ABC, it's a strike through. A line will be drawn across. Right? Same as in Word. The next to that is the character spacing. What it will do is very important as far as sorry. Just give me a moment, please. Just give me a moment, please. Yeah, as as you can see, can you see the slide? Is the slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh.
Thanks. Okay, so as you can see below, behind the text, we get that shadow. The strike through, then next to that, this is an important thing which we use pretty extensively, is the spacing between the characters. If I select this, and what it does is it does not increase the size of the font, but it will increase the space between the alphabets. So going over into AV, this character spacing. As we increase it, as I make it loose, you can see between H and E and then L, the space is increasing. Okay. And if we want it very tight, we just bring it to tight. And if we want to customize it, we can customize the spacing also from here. Okay. The next to that, of course, is the font color. Like if we want to give it a different color, we go into the alphabet which is there, and from here we can choose any of the colors that we want. Okay, and give it a different color. Okay, and now after giving it a different color, let's say we give this color. We can also color its background, and then the next to that, the small a b with the text highlighter, we change this. We just there is a drop down here also, and we can choose any color that we want, after selecting it. And then if we don't want anything, then from here there is an option of no color. Okay, so if I select this whole thing and go back here and say no color, then all that color, the behind it also moves away. Okay, so these are, now this here is an ordinary document. Ordinary, we are using simple words. Okay, just typing on it and creating a word, just creating something by what we call it, using the the simple typing. Now, if we type, okay, let me show it to you. If we type also, what we can do from here, is change its direction. So if we want in the next section, there is in the paragraph, there is an option of changing the direction. Okay, in the sense that if right now it's horizontal, if we want, we can rotate it to 90 degrees. Okay, and increase the size of this box. You see it comes up like this here. Again, selecting this box, if we want to change, we can rotate it to 270 degrees, which means just the reverse. Okay, and at the same time we can make it stacked also. Stacked is one on top of the other. For this, I will have to reduce the size of the font, which is then you would be able to make out. Yes, like you see here, up till this point, the words are one on top of each other. Okay. So the direction, that is something that we do from here in the paragraph section. Now, here, what all we do is simple. Okay, there is not much of creativity that we can use here. It is all predefined functions that we use. The next that I'm going to be covering, any questions on this so far? Any questions on this, please, for what I have shared? Okay. Questions can come in at any time in the chat box, or you can briefly unmute yourself and let me know about that also. Now, the next thing that we will be covering in this session is inserting things here. Now, on this slide itself, we go into the next tab. Next to home is the insert option. Okay, and in the insert option, we get various various groups that are there. Okay, first one is, of course, inserting a new slide. We can insert a slide. Second is insert a table. The third is insert images. Okay, Within images, we have the option of inserting pictures. If I click on pictures, it will ask me, where do we want to insert the picture? Whether it is from the device or from an online gallery. Let's go on to this device and see. I go on to this device. It connects me to the device, and I have to kind of select from where I need the picture. So I go in there and say, go into this. I select the picture and insert it. Okay. Once inserted, we can resize it. Okay, and move it anywhere across on this slide. The way when a picture gets inserted, if you see the four corners and plus on the sides in between, there are these circles. We can increase or decrease the size of the picture by placing our cursor on the corner. And if we see, as we do it, the arrows point outwards. Do a left click and just drag it. Okay. And it will, if we do it from the corners, the picture will increase in size proportionately. Okay. On the other hand, if we use these dots, these on the sides, it will not increase proportionately. It will now, if I have placed the cursor in this, height-wise, the one in the center, and I drag it, you see, it will go only, it will, it goes askew. Okay. So now these are things that, especially, if I pull the other way, it will move like this, but still it is askew. So now these are a few things that we should always keep in mind while working with pictures. And wherever this picture has been inserted, we can move it. Move it in the sense that we just place our cursor there, and after placing the cursor there, we just do a left click, and the cursor changes. From the arrow, I just, you can see the arrow, the white arrow. After I press it, the arrow moves away, and this four-dimensional arrow comes, and we can, while keeping the cursor, the left cursor clicked, we can move this picture throughout anywhere on this slide, and wherever we leave it, wherever we leave the cursor, the picture will stay there. Okay. The second thing that we can do from the insert section is, within these pictures, there is an option of online pictures. Depending on, the version of PowerPoint that we have, like, for example, in 2016-19, there is a provision of an online picture gallery. If I click on this, it will take me, it will wait for some time, it will connect me to, but then we need internet connectivity here at this juncture, because this is an online portal. And from here, if say I want to, I want to insert the picture of family. Okay. There are categories here, various categories are here. Okay. And we can choose any category, the specific category, okay, the specific category. And going on to family, say I click in there, and I get a host of pictures that are there. Depending on what we want to use or what we are presenting, all that we need to do is select the picture by clicking on it, and we hit the yes, Nirmala ji, you have raised your hand.
Are there any copyright issues in this?
Yes and no also, because this is powered by Bing. Okay, So generally there are no copyright issues, but at the same time, they do make a statement that you're responsible for respecting others' rights, including copyright. So better to check, especially as far as pictures is concerned. The other icons and all, there is no copyright issue. Okay. So once we hit the insert option, it takes some time and we get these pictures there. Okay. And at the same time, Nirmalaji, in 2019, they have the 3D gallery also. You could pick pictures from there, and those are Microsoft pictures, free of royalty. Now, after having inserted these pictures, this picture looks very plain. But what happens is, once we select the picture, we get another tab here, which is picture format. Okay. Or picture tools to begin with, and below that is the picture format option. Okay. From this format option, now this ordinary cell phone that is there, if we see, it just looks very pale, doesn't make an impression here. But the moment we select it, we get the picture tools option, and from here, the first thing we get is frames. If you want to give it any kind of a frame, okay, we get these frames from there, and there are a whole lot of frames that are there. Okay, all this. If we wanted something like a mirror, oval, this kind of a thing, there's something like this. So these are all tools that are there to enhance, the picture or make it look different. Go into applying that. Once it's there, once if we apply any tool here on the frame, if you can see, there is a brownish color dot, and that is the edit point. Okay. Edit point in the sense that if I take my cursor there and I can move the frame, you see, as I am moving, you can see the corners. I'll do that again. I just keep an eye on the corners, on the rounded corners of this frame. Okay. If I move it, I just select that and I move it, the picture becomes more square. And if I move it inwards, it becomes more roundish kinds. Okay. So there is edit points here. Okay. And we can use that, again, as to whatever we are trying to show. Besides that, it doesn't end here. Besides that, if we see by the side of that, we have the picture border. Okay. If I click on this and I get the color options, we can change the color of the frame. Okay. I make it blue. It becomes blue. Besides that, what we can do is we can add, or rather, there are custom colors also, and there are options for line weightage also. Okay. Line weightage means the thickness of the line. Okay. The thickness of the line or the boundary that is there. And if I select something thicker, okay, so I'll select something thicker so that I can show you. Or rather, now you see, as we see, the boundary in its own self, the frame, the color of the frame has changed. Okay. And it's not only lines, we can also make it dashed or give it another look altogether by clicking on any of these options. If I hit that, dashes, it will not take. Sorry about that. Right. Then there are options of, the second is picture effects. Okay. Effects is something that to show you my favorite. Now look at this. Altogether, it gives a bevel kind of a look here. Okay. And we can, as we select this, we get into the picture effects and give it a different look. If we wanted to give a kind of a reflection, we just hit the reflection variations. And there are many things here. Creative tools. Now these are creative tools. Of course, what I'm doing during the session is just letting you know as to from what all can be done. It depends on the kind of presentation that you're making and the kind of impact that we want to make. Okay. Besides that, we have the 3D options also, which if we want to present, something in a 3D look, we can also do that by choosing any of these options that are there. Okay. And if we apply them, and as if I apply them, it remains like that. It gives a totally a 3D look. Okay. So besides the text, we play with colors, with images. Images in a visual, in a presentation, images make a real lot of a difference. Use the right kind of an image, dress it up well, and it creates a very different kind of an impact on the audience there. Any questions on this before I move into word art? Sorry about that. Any questions from anybody? Okay, so the next what we will be exploring is word art. Okay.
Yes, sir, excuse me, this is Vaidehi.
Yes, Vaidehi.
But we need to do this presentation in either in a laptop or on a computer, right?
Yes.
We cannot do anything with our mobile.
A mobile, it will take a very long time, and there is a possibility you might not find all these tools there.
Okay. So in computer we should do, and what we should do, we have to incorporate that in our mobile. Like
that's
that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So now what we
so
will
is this layout, sorry, is this layout the same also in the Apple laptop, in the Mac?
In the Mac, if you have PowerPoint, I am not very sure about that. Sorry, I don't use Mac. But
okay.
What I will be doing is, in the notes of this session, I will be sending links, to Microsoft Microsoft support, and on that link you will find, details of how to use it on Mac also. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't use a Mac. Otherwise, I would have
Thank
addressed.
You, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Arya says that the layout is the same in Mac. Thanks, Arya, for the help. Really appreciate that. Okay. So now from here, okay, the next that we will be exploring is we will be exploring how to insert word art. Okay. Now, this is a second slide that I have inserted. Okay. And on this slide, what I will do, I will just copy this, the first box there, and just bring it here. Okay. So just for comparison. Now, this is plain text. Okay, that is written. All that we can do is change its direction, change its colors, and so on and so forth. But now we will be working on with word art and seeing as to how we can change the look of this hello all. Okay. The first thing, again, in the insert tab, okay, going into the group which is there as text, okay, in the sense that first was, slides, tables, images, then illustrations, then add-ins, links, comments, and then text. Okay. Now, from this text, we select a word art, insert word art, the blue A that is there. We click on that, and I get these options. Okay. From these options, let's say click on this light gray thing here, and I get this box here. Okay. In this box, I just go into typing hello all. Okay. And as we insert this, as this is there, we get at the top, if you see, we get the drawing tools shape format. Okay. From here, from this place, there is shape styles. If we do a drop down, we get all these options that are there. Okay. And we could select any of these options. Okay. Ready-made, they are there as preset. And, we could choose any one of them. Let's say I like this color, done, chosen. Okay. Now, it's not only that, we choose the color and that's what it is. You just have a look at the difference, of what we have typed and what is there on this box. Within this box, what all we can do. Again, we get these options, shape fill. Okay. Do a drop down there, and from there, select any of the colors that are there. Okay. I like something blue, but I wanted some lighter. I go into, the more fill option, and from here, let's see, I go in there and let me give it some, and now this color changes. Okay. This text that is there, this text, we are referring to the text. Sorry about that. Okay. Now coming here, below the shape fill, if we see is the shape outline. I tap on that. And from there, we can change again the colors of the outline. Okay. If you see on the border, there is a border that has come up. Okay. And I want something like maybe a greenish. No, green doesn't go there. I just want a slightly darker blue. Okay. I go in, I get this border there. Okay. And even then, from there, we have the option of increasing the weight of the lines. Weight means the width of the line. Okay. We can make it very thin, we can make it big, and or still more bigger. Okay. And then, after we do that, I selected the line. Okay. From the shape outline, I go into, I want something different. Let's go into dashes and choose this. I chose this dashes there. Again, selecting this box, I want to go into effects. Okay. From the effects, I want to go into 3D rotation. Okay. And we can check on any of the rotations that are there. Okay. And choose whatever we wish. Once this is done, okay. Once this is done, there are, I go into, the design aspect also. There are a host of things that you can do from here, in the sense that when I'm here, we covered the shape styles. Next to that is the word art styles. The text that is there, I go into the text fill from here and change it to another color. Okay. And just a second, let me highlight this. Yeah. And then, I change the color of the text. Okay. Once done, I want to give it an outline. Let me give it a an outline which is more visible. Okay. I give it an outline, and after that, within that outline option, there is an option for weight. I want to increase the weight so that it is visible. Okay. And there it is at 1.5 point. Now after this, okay, we get the option of text effects. Okay, do a drop down there, and from the drop down, I want to transform it. Okay, and let's see, I make it something circular. Let's make it anything. I make it something like this. Okay, it pops up. I want to, make it smaller. Okay, I want to make it smaller. All that I need to do is take this brown dot and bring it up. Okay, and it becomes small. If I move this, if I move this, it will become smaller and bigger as we do that. Okay, and at the same time, there are other options also that are here within this. Depending, again, use your creativity. Check on what we were, say, supposing if I use something like this, and there is this brown dot, I want it more bigger. Okay, I pull it down and make it more bigger. Okay. So these are all basic designs, that we can play around with, and we can at any time, change these. These are all edited, okay, editable. Besides that, if from here, the options that we get in the text effects, especially the transform ones, are say if I want something like this. Okay. Now I want it slightly smaller. Take on this brown dot and move it. Now just have a look. Just see the difference between hello all that was typed and hello all that is here as a word art. Okay, so this is the difference word art makes to the text there.